Emerging from the dictatorship, where the AFP served as the main instrument of war and repression, a repression that only fueled more rebellions, even in its own ranks, the commissioners knew that one of their historic tasks was to put the military in its proper place. To their credit, they succeeded in framing important core principles. Civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military, was secured in Article 2. The state shall insulate the AFP from partisan political activities. In turn, no member shall engage in partisan politics directly or indirectly except to vote. The state shall strengthen the AFP's professionalism, patriotism, nationalist consciousness, and respect for people's rights. The police shall be separated from the AFP to ensure a fully civilian character. Commissioner Napoleon Rama argued against what he called the exaggerated importance given to the defense of the state. Consequently, that the defense of the state is the prime duty of government, a line found in the 1935 and 1973 constitutions to justify mobilizing the people for military service, was purged.
To enunciate that its prime duty is to defend the state and thus compel every citizen to be a soldier is to make the building of a large armed forces as the government's overriding obligation. It gives the military a primordial position in the political hierarchy, a role wider and more important than a democratic constitution would allow it.
Rama said that the old provision was lifted from the constitution of the Spanish Republican government. He didn't find a similar one in 86 other constitutions that he reviewed. Article 2, Section 4 now reads, "The prime duty of the government is to serve and protect the people. The government may call upon the people to serve, and in fulfillment thereof, all citizens may be required under conditions provided by law to render political, military, or civil service."
One other new approach in the Constitution was defining the role of the military, that it's not an instrument for oppression, because that breeds discontent, that breeds armed conflict, but they are defined as protectors of the people and the state.
The people perspective was a complete turnaround from the state perspective. Citizen mobilization, it was also clarified, shall only be for defensive purpose, not for aggressive wars. However, the body rejected by a vote of 22 against 5 the explicit recognition of the right to refuse to be drafted on the ground of objections of conscience, leaving it up to Congress to pass such a law. Deliberating on the AFP became a fierce battleground because it will pit Filipinos against fellow Filipinos and send the wrong signal that a military solution to the domestic conflicts was being espoused. The draft statement that the military shall be employed in internal security was voted out of the text. Proponent, the soldier De Castro, cried, "The Commission wants communism in the country." After more exchange of fire, the compulsion on the state to disband the notorious CHDF, or Civilian Home Defense Forces, and other paramilitary groups was lost to the majority, who wanted to leave the option to the president and the military. Only armed groups not duly constituted by authority or inconsistent with the citizen armed force shall be dissolved. Because of pressure from the AFP, then President Corazon Aquino did not immediately disband the CHDF as many had expected her to do. And now, the CHDF has returned in the guise of the CAFCUs, or the Citizens Armed Force Geographical Units, competing with the NPA in recruiting farmers and indigenous peoples into their respective troops and slugging it out in the community's backyard. To secure state sovereignty and the integrity of the national territory, this is the mandate of the AFP as given by the Constitution. While quite clear with regards to foreign threats, gray areas emerge when applied to Moro separatism, which asserts its own national identity and entitlement to its own government, and to the CPP, which seeks to build a new state. This mandate of the AFP has put it in direct bloody collision with the different armed groups then and now.